Yeah. Right, welcome to semi-finals for mixed. Field 5, game about to start. We have Salaspils versus SeE6, Field 5, semis. I'm Elshak from Australia, about to be joined by the lovely Lorcan from Ireland as he clambers up. Whoa! The scaffolding. Sorry there, people. It got a bit exciting with that last jump onto our platform.
In the name of the best Disney song from the 5th best Disney movie, let's get down to business. What a D! And Salaspils coming out firing in the early exchanges. Firing that away. Like my team sheet, which has been blown. That's Jans Berdans, the one player on Salaspils who I know on a personal level and a wonderful person who's actually talking to me earlier in the game before it and was letting me know that this is the first time this collection of players have come together on a team. And this is just a one-off. They made the semi-finals of Windmill, coming from the Salaspils area with a couple of pickups.
Where is that area, please, for those from Australia?
Latvia.
Thank you.
Salaspils is sitting in Latvia. Normally they play in open and women's. They got a couple of pickups from around the area, Lithuania, and a few more. As now they're looking to get an opening break. Kurasova swinging along. That one's going to bounce out of their hands, and it is dealt with rudely by Madison.
That's right. A lot of the people on the SeE6 lineup, I've watched and commentated a couple of their games earlier on, has impressed me no end. But I am just starting to recognise a few faces here as, they are just...
Well, there's one face that I think we all recognise. And if you are unacquainted, trust me, keep your eyes on the end zone. You will get to know her. Number 9, Lindquist. So good at getting free. She makes it look effortless. And in fairness, with that kind of setup from Hagloff, whose name I'm sure I'm butchering.
Well, we're doing our best. Apologies in advance to those watching at home. But I have started to recognise on the how do you say it?
Salaspils.
Salaspils? Salaspils?
Oh, no, I'm definitely going to get it wrong. Salaspils. Salaspils.
Okay. Apologies already for the team name mispronunciation, but I have started to see a fair few of their players I recognise from Royan, and they impressed me a lot at the Beach Worlds. A few of their young female players there from Latvia.
Eastern Europe right now is turning out, I think, they might be sitting on a very strong, definitely sitting on a very strong generation of women, but in terms of like the regions, EUCR, I think they're sitting on a treasure trove of young, talented women. Seeing a few of them play today in this mixed division. And there's a huge hammer for the crack. They're just out there. Gusars takes it.
That's right, very quick
Making
response.
it look very easy.
Yeah. This could be a very, very close game if it's going to be like the whole way through. Massive hucks.
I spent so long trying to get his name right for EUCF, and I'm so sorry. Orlovskis. Arvids Janis Orlovskis. He is so talented, so young, but also so very aware of it. So that's the kind of stumbling, tying his shoelaces thing. Like, he will do those kinds of things all game long. He will lay out above basically a first-story house, but he knows he can do it. And I think those of us with a bit longer in the teeth recognize what that means. And the danger therein. A sword with no hilt, if you will, but my word, what a sword. So now Salaspils in the driver's seat.
Oh, and that is a very nice pull right to the corner of the end zone. They bring it in, working it quickly. Oh, almost a very rare fumble there from SeE6 on one of their throws. They're normally super precise and in a lot of control. And that is one of the things that has put them in this high position in the competition, has been their discipline and patience as they work the disc up. As I just said that, he has just had a crack at it, but
Green takes that down despite the intense incoming pressure from Bernans, and then pops it in for the score. Smooth.
Just mowing the grass a little bit there on that catch.
Diving and just bursting through.
And she is an excitement machine, just looking through the Salaspils roster from Beach Worlds. I remember saying her name several times. I have forgotten how to say it correctly. I'm just going to say Asta and hope for the best. Apologies if I have said it wrong. Number 71, who is now on the field, I think, on their O-line. There's a few other players that I don't think are in this team that were also instrumental. They did quite well in the women's division on the games that I watched, especially for an up-and-coming, I guess, developing
nation.
I was going to say developing nation. They're not a developing nation.
Well, I would definitely put them in that class. Latvia?
Nation
100% they're in the
sport.
developing nation class. Of ultimate frisbee.
Of ultimate frisbee, yes.
And
That's
GDP.
not in terms of economy, just to clarify there.
Of course. Avids.
But yes, starting out and...
So this is Orlovskis, liable to do anything with the disc. Minovs with a cool headband that I got to tell you I'm a fan of. And there, that one goes up. Orlovskis underneath. He's got time. He's got space.
Oh,
he's got rhythm, and he just got taken out.
Oh, that was painful to watch. And yeah, he's landed right on the tailbone, and maybe the leg. It hurt, and I don't feel any intent there.
No,
just going for the disc. Super unfortunate. His legs got taken out from under him, so he basically went up and landed straight back down on the body, and rather than the feet. But it looks like he's just going to keep on playing, giving himself a bit of a check that he's able to move.
So just going to brush himself off. No malice in that. He's young. He'll bounce up. Bones aren't fully formed. Be grand.
I don't know if he's that young.
He's 19. Orlovskis.
I still don't think
smooth,
that's that young for Bones.
Elegant, gentle.
Oh. I didn't love that celebration as much as the sass we had earlier on in another game. That was a bit more showboat, but hey, each to their own.
Snap's not doing it for you?
Nah.
Not a big fan?
Not a fan.
Well, I'm a big fan of that pivot and throw. That thing was sweet.
He's still rubbing himself there on the buttock that definitely came down hard. And this ground is quite hard for those at home. Not too much
a lot of give.
bounce, yeah.
You really hit it. Like when you hit it, you really hit it.
It's almost like concreted grass here, but there is grass. It's just a very hard surface underneath.
It's more like it's condensed dust. Kind of coming up in wee tendrils. But the point remains, you got to be tough to bounce off it and tougher to keep going afterwards.
That's right. So 2-all, trading points at the moment.
SeE6, Anderson with the disc, pops it off.
Ooh.
And that one just goes a little bit too high. Everything's okay.
That's right.
Just a smidgen of panic there from Mojika. But it all worked out, gets the D, lots of pressure. Now here comes Bernans. And he immediately goes for the hammer. And this is what they mean when they call them the wild things. Savaeva leans forward, catches it. And that's a break.
Them's are the breaks, as they say on. Unfortunately, you can't see this. Logan's now doing some kind of shimmy dance move.
I don't know what she's talking about. Why would you lie to the people?
Why would I invent that? That's more the question. So now...
A quick mistake.
Yeah,
Born of defensive pressure, capitalized immediately. I like this play style from the Salaspils. They're just launching it, putting it up. They've had 3 scores. 2 of them have been hammers.
Yeah, and you are a hammer bandit. You don't mind that at all.
Oh, give me a bag of hammers and I will be a happy, happy man. Give me a sack of them. I want to have as many hammers as possible. Scoopers as well. Which is what I liked in the previous game with Cusp.
So
Through a nice scuba assist.
SeE6 not playing as confidently as I expected, but I haven't seen their opponents play yet. But they obviously have a very strong game themselves to get into this
crazy.
position.
They've never played as this unit before. Like a bunch of them have played with each other different times and things like that, and they're from similar areas, but this isn't a club team. This is just a bunch of players coming together from Latvia, and they're putting up a staunch opposition to SeE6, who are an established Swedish club team, and are looking to regain their footing in this game. And there's the pop.
Right. Sometimes it is a case
with the disc.
Oh, no.
And that's fantastic defensive pressure from the lengthy Malderis.
2 very tall players there contesting that disc. Sometimes it is better the devil you know. It's a lot easier to plan your game around a team that you maybe have played before or seen play. So maybe SeE6 there doesn't have the advantage that the Latvian team does.
A good point, as Bernan's. Also, even if you have seen him play before, they just do crazy stuff. So you can watch a madman for hours. You still don't know what he's going to do next. You just know it's going to look crazy.
But something crazy, yeah. Or
but how much does that really tell you? As here, Salaspils goes sweeping. Beautiful flick-hook. Launching it downfield. Defender was already in the way and comfortably covered and taken by Havgard.
Right. Not
Playing that deep field defense.
Oh, no!
But overthrown, and Madison couldn't extend and grab it. Now Bernan's.
Right. She was not at all put off by the defender, or actually it was an offensive player coming towards her. She just has had eyes for the disc, took it down. Oh no, a couple of unforced errors here.
Few unforced errors. You don't like to see it. No. That one just bouncing out of the hands was not Tinch.
Both of them happening in a very similar position on the field.
So now.
It is sunny. Maybe we can blame sun in eyes, finally, for the first time this weekend. But I feel it's probably just the pressure of being into the finals round.
So Hagloff swings it around. Green back into the middle. Waiting for it, Madison. And they're still working hard, still trying to get something going, but Anderson floats it out. And it's snatched out of the sky by Green. Beautiful stuff. He elevates up there and takes it out of the sky. For a while there, though, it looked like they were getting a little bit stagnant. Like I felt like they weren't able to work it through, but in the end, Anderson loads up and sends it.
So scores back tied, 3 apiece.
All in all, it was comfortable. Yeah. They were put under pressure, but they were able to respond.
Yeah.
Now let's see if they can hit him back.
On field 6 is local team Grut, who won the mixed division last year, and there is a little local contingent there of fans supporting them, hoping for another final tomorrow, all just out of reach.
That one bounces off the outstretched hands of Paduma. Now SeE6 looking to go in the opposite direction. Hargaby. Launches it deep immediately. Looking for number 5, Grandel, and she scores for the break. 4-3.
Beautiful put out into space there for her to run onto it.
And this game is swinging back and forth. Hard to predict now. Both teams seem fairly comfortable out there. Bit of unforced errors, but all things they could clean up. Do you have a favorite right now?
I think SeE6. They're not playing their usual standard of game. Again, I think that's maybe the fact that it's the end of the day and they've played a whole lot of other matches prior to this. It might be finals pressure. It might be the fact that the opposition is a little unknown, but that was earlier on. And that point was a little bit more like the SeE6 of old that I have seen and been impressed with throughout yesterday and today's games. So I'm going to say SeE6, but you know, I don't mind either way who wins, but I do think that they have a lot more flow in their transitions and very disciplined in their throws as well.
I tell you, if Salaspils wind up playing Groot in the final, that would be an explosive final. Olovskis puts it up. It's absolutely picture perfect. Streaking down and getting the score. Schnipped. They made that look very easy.
That's right. It's almost a case of anything you can do, I can do better out here at the moment. As we're almost trading points. There was a break early on, but correct me now, has there been then a second break, or is it now back on point?
I believe it's back on point.
I think it's just back on point. Yeah, so break each. This basically very even match in both the score and the styles. Yeah.
A lot of stylish plays from a lot of different people. Anderson, Grandel had that fantastic grab. Bernan's has been putting up some shots.
That's right. I wouldn't be surprised if a timeout was called in the next couple of points if this continues with the trading, because teams would probably recognise they need to mix up something and come up with a different strategy to make their game stand out and to start to take control of the game. But it's still 4-all early on in the place as the Latvian-based team to do a massive pull.
There's so much muscle on that pull.
I don't know if it's going to remain in. No, just going out there at the end. But an incredible length. Full field, almost.
So it's going to be a break. And that man again. Hagloff with the disc. And they're trying to isolate Lindquist downfield. That's exactly what I would want to do. Instead, they go with the short and easier under to Madison. And again, they try to isolate Lindquist downfield, because why wouldn't you?
Oh, nice.
Well, I guess that's reason enough not to try. Fantastic defensive effort from Ojika. Now Maldares with the disc. Nobody coming back to help him. Looking for some unders, begging for some assistance. Gets him in the form of Shinatis. This is still comfortable by Salaspils, even though there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of structure to it. Maldares flows it inside. Kublika.
Yeah, not so much necessarily a set play, but just, you know, a combination of things they've probably done at their own teams.
And then a couple of hammers for good measure, because, right, you know, why not?
Why not, if you've got them? If you got to flaunt it.
Robert Tapinis with a beautiful, beautiful hammer, and I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. You got to put it out there sometimes. So, a competent response. 5-5.
Yeah. So as they're coming out on D here, neither team really doing anything hugely impactful on D. It's been fairly quick scores from both sides. A little bit of pressure, but nothing hugely dramatic. So it'll be interesting to see if the Latvian team try to set something up in this round, as we believe it is
It's 5-4.
5-4.
5-4.
Yes, what did you think it was?
I thought it was 5-5. I thought that was them equalising, but it's not. And
Oh,
also
no.
our scoreboard is very wrong, which we apologise for.
Oh, is it? Oh. What does it say on our screen?
6-3.
6-3. Oh, okay.
6-4 now.
Oh, okay. Yes, I believe in this case the volunteer who has been watching this game very, very closely, not having to divide their attention across fields. I believe the score on our physical scoreboard at the fields of 5-4 is correct.
Haggerby plays it to Anderson. Back inside, waiting for Eliason. Madison. Anderson. All these Vikings trying to get a bit of ravaging going. There's the big shot. Underneath it is Elias, and she's trying to outread it. Bernanz is coming in to help, but he's too slow for either of them. Kublika takes it away.
Again, that name sounds familiar. I feel we maybe have said that at Royan as well.
Orlovskis plays it down. That's a big shot by
my
Minovs.
goodness.
All day long to the winning hands of Malderis. And the Salaspils are starting to feel it.
That's right. Just a few pained expressions there from the SES line of as they come off. I think now, yep, they've called that timeout that I did think would be
So
called
here's the D
shortly.
again. You can see the battle scrambling. And Kublika dominates. And then again, here's that huge shot. Beautiful coming out of the hands of Minovs. And Malderis has all day. And they're flashy. They like to show off.
I know. I don't know if the Latvian team will try to come up with any strategies in this time out.
I hope they don't. I love what they're doing.
What they're doing is working, so why change? The ain't break, don't fix it kind of situation. But SES, see, I knew I'd say SES again. Not the state emergency services as we have in Western Australia, but SeE6.
Why, do you not have any SeE6 in Australia?
We don't have any SeE6, but we do have SES.
Must get pretty lonely.
So SeE6 definitely coming up with some strategies and having a discussion about what they need to do to change up this game where they're now trailing 6-4 against a team that they maybe underestimated.
Well, to my amateurish eye, it seems they got to work out a way to stop being out-athleted. Like, right now they're just getting out-balled. So what do you do when you're being out-balled? The SeE6 have a way where they can go out there and ball, or is that not their style? Like, because maybe a bit more intuitive. I don't know, a bit more flash, probably the wrong way of doing it, but like, right now the difference between the two teams to me seems to be just that Salaspils are playing with their tails up, just flashy, egotistical, showy off ultimate, and it's working. So SeE6 need to respond with just kind of grind it out ultimate.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to their
Rough
well.
and ready.
What is their homegrown style of ultimate? Show us that. It seems to be lashing it to Lindquist, which, you know,
Yeah, it works.
it's not a bad thing.
But definitely the girls on this Latvian team,
They're the match.
they're matching.
They're not used to having
Yeah.
like matching athletes against them. You're right. These women are out there putting in work. Kublika is just a brick wall. And that's not going to help. Madison drops it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that is the second one this game that he has done.
So Bernanz.
I think, yeah, I'm not too sure.
And he goes for a high release flick right out of the gate, because that's how they operate.
No, but just a misread there
Happini's able to take it down.
the SeE6 defender.
Haggerby.
Biggest margin of the game now, 7-4, I believe.
And that is an impressive little run by Salaspils. They look fantastic. I think, like, if you put together a pickup team, but you're all kind of vaguely from the same area, and there isn't an established mixed team there, and you win Windmill, would you not be like, should we all play mixed? We're apparently good.
That's right. There's a few tournaments we could probably play at together in Europe, just a fair few. Seems like every weekend is a tournament in Europe coming from Australia, where we have seems to be a greater problem with distance and cost to get to
What?
other options.
But you live in Perth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so isn't the nearest metropolitan city to Perth in India?
Yeah. Pretty
Well,
much.
there's your issue.
Pretty much, nah. It's quite a distance for us to go to competitions within our own country.
Well, Europe has the benefit of being relatively small, and yet still so diverse.
True.
And we get all these wonderful teams, all these wonderful colors, and all these wonderful peoples out here playing, having fun, and trying to find a way to deal with the bloody Salaspils. Thim.
I think that's probably what it is the girls are a very good match. I think the women on the SeE6 team normally are able to dominate their opposition, and they still run hard every game, don't get me wrong, but
look at how close they are.
yeah.
Mazika has been a demon, batting away discs, always harrying. So difficult to escape. Haggerby launches that one deep. Lindroth underneath it, reads it well and takes it down.
Well
getting the better
done.
of Paduma.
Again, another close contest there.
But they just went athlete to athlete. Well, let's just go. Let's just put it up.
Yep.
You know what? Haggerby's like, I'm just gonna back her. I'm just gonna back her. Well taken.
Maybe that's what they need to do, is just hope they do. I think on a few of their male players, they're very tall, but the reading ability of the literacy, if you will, of the Latvian team is really, really good. I've been super impressed with their body placement and their positioning for those long throws, whether it's to catch or to D.
And that's what they have to be able to achieve. Trying to find themselves. Maybe the deep game is what they need to start dealing out. Having some fun with it.
That's right, and a relatively young lineup as well, all in all, for the Latvian team, or Latvian-based team, I should say.
New sport, as you said at the start of this broadcast, developing country.
Maybe
That's
region,
what you said. Art, that woman you're so fond of, spreads around to Kublika. Kubla gets out.
you said
No, it's fine. Minoves plays it down the line. Kublika, and once again into the waiting hands of Orlovsky's, and he just pops it in. And they
made that look just too easy, working it all the way up the field for the score.
Sevelyeva
the
gets the final score.
Of SeE6 needs to lift, because at the moment they were just trading points, but now they are getting themselves in a little bit of a insurmountable hole of 8-5. Not too many points difference, but the flow of the other team just dominating at this
so
stage.
difficult to stop. They're weaving their way through, meandering like a river.
Again, maybe is that they don't have their set plays where they almost give away where they're going to throw to. Maybe it's just I see someone, I'm going to throw there. It's hard to defend against that because they don't give themselves away, because they don't know what they're going to do straight away. So how is the defense going to know? Maybe that's the problem for the SeE6, trying to defend against this team that is a conglomerate of people from the Latvian region.
Potentially. And they've taken half 8-5, which I was not expecting. Although, in fairness, I wasn't expecting either of these teams. This is a highly competitive mixed division. Teams from all over the world. And the likes of Colorado,
mostly the Northern Hemisphere. But yeah.
Yeah, okay. But there's a couple of ones. Revolutioner from Brazil.
The other half.
There's Black Sheep there from New Zealand.
True.
Pirates, Hearts, Ninjas. They're, I think, Australian.
Maybe.
Point is, we got teams.
We got teams. They're multiplying. And Locken's losing control.
A little bit, like, because somebody just threw a frisbee directly through our booth.
Yeah, it freaked us out.
It's actually kind of impressive.
Bit.
Like, that's not easy to do. There's a lot of bars.
But there's also a lot of expensive equipment up here that we don't want to be
There's a lot of us
for.
up here.
And
like, that's
true.
what I'm most concerned about.
Irreplaceable.
Exactly. Oft imitated, never replicated. The Shack House and Lorcan effect. As we're getting ready for the second half and the final game of the second day on the 6th month of the 2018th year since our Lord and Savior, allegedly, Jesus Christ, was born. Because that's how we keep time. Do SeE6 have time to strike back? Well, they're going to start off with a brick. And Orlovskis is going to walk to that, and he's going to do something exciting. At least, he better. The way I've been talking about.
Right,
he's going to love this as well, the more we talk about him.
That's right. You're going to put pressure on him. He doesn't know it, but...
He loves it.
Here he goes. He hasn't seemed at all... Oh, no.
That was too slick
that
for his own good.
That was all Lorcan's D there.
Oh,
Commentator D.
Trying to help out SeE6. Start of the second half. Oh, he's going to be mad. Apinis.
Oh.
Drops it back.
Very close marks
Haggerby.
here. I think that the
Haggerby
team
for options. Thim and Haggerby working together as there's not a lot of downfield movement happening.
No, there's really just no options
Eliasson
being allowed.
Thim just looking. She needs Haggerby. She has Eliasson as well. She gets Haggerby eventually. That's some fantastic dump cutting. Some brilliant dump defense as well. Haggerby in the end launches that. That's going to curve back in. Maybe.
Oh, good effort, but it was never going to come back in there. Maybe at the very back corner, but a little bit dangerous with the speakers and the football posts.
Lindroth lives for danger.
Oh, okay.
Well, you saw her bid. She
it's true. It
missed it ever so slightly. Misread it, but still a gutsy bid. So now, Salaspils with the chance to spare their blushes. Ooh. They go immediately with a hammer, which you know I'm a big fan of. Gushars. Orlovskis thinks about the scuba.
That's right.
Oh, sorry, no, that was Schnips.
Yeah.
They're both wearing those red hats.
I know, how dare they?
Hussars, I know, right? Everybody just have one color hat. That one was a bit too much mustard. Minovs could only watch it bounce out of his hand as he tried to toe the line unsuccessfully. So now, Haggerby plays it down to Thim. Thim in the middle. She has Haggerby.
Yeah,
she
really.
thinks about popping it. She decides against it. Pops it back inside. Pops it outside. Haggerby. Slowly building SeE6, trying to get that consistent offense, trying to work their way back into this match. Lindroth, Haggerby. He's been every second throw. He goes for that blade. Lots of competition. Orlovskis comes across. It was very bladey. And slaps it out of the way of Edberg. So now Orlovskis. Yes. Pops it along. Kushars. They've had a lot of chances at this break. Orlovskis decides to take one more. A huge shot all the way down the field. And Kubla collects calmly.
Keeps her feet there.
Gotta respect him. You got to respect the Salaspils women.
That's right. And I think that maybe, I don't know, the men seem to be...
Kublika is, by the way, 28
and
has been playing for 16 years, apparently.
Wow.
So it makes sense that she's that good.
That's right. If ever there was an advertisement for juniors to be trained, it is her, because that is start them young and they will play like that. That is amazing. Great read of the disc there. And SeE6 choosing to go an unusual combination of 6 people on the line. Oh, no, they're now sorting out who's going to come on to be their 7th player. They really need to start getting some more points on the board, trailing 9-5 as the pool just hangs up there, just being a bit of a tease in the air.
Malderis. And there's an immediate turnover. He was putting on an intimidating force.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he got the hand to it or if it was just the intensity of the D, the pressure of that.
So now Bernans just pops it calmly into the front of the end zone where Apinis is making a horizontal cut.
That's That's right. That very interesting to see on the replay there. Woo-hoo! As we just adjust the scaffolding. Team celebrate. Here comes that replay. We'll hopefully catch the D. That was. Maybe not though. No.
Beautiful score from Apenas. Squirreling his way free in the front of the end zone. He's known as Belka, which is Russian for squirrel.
Squirrel?
Yeah.
Cute.
Lovely little score, lovely little bit of inventiveness. They get on the board with a break. 10-5, doubling SE6's score.
That's right.
They're looking powerful. They are looking sensational. Like, they're just going for things and it's coming off. And then they're also getting lucky with those unfortunate drops for SE6. And on top of that, fantastic defense across the board, but especially on the women.
Oh, and another big put there. But oh, what a catch!
Brilliantly taken in. Hergreen scraping the earth to pull that one down. I believe it was Lindquist with the shot. So they switched. Reversed it. There was a lot of male to female hugs that was not working out against Salaspils. So now they're going female to male. And Hergreen showing what he's made of.
Maybe that's what they've needed to do. Having to reach down to his feet to catch that.
You can see it here. Such a throw. All the way down.
Very impressive.
And that throw.
Yet to see a zone D, and with the lack of wind, it may not happen. Definitely the Latvian side is easily able to match, if not have a mismatch against their opponents in their advantage. So they'll probably be sticking with the person D. But it'll be interesting to see if SE6 do zone, because they have done it quite effectively before in the past. But no, they're also going for
They're staying in man as the disc is centered to Orlovskis. And he goes for a huge hook himself, looking for his favorite target, Kublika. There's a battle. But in the end, it is Gusars who takes it down. Well, lots of competition.
This is starting to look like it could be a very short game.
It does seem like it's shortening out, doesn't it? 11-6. The last 2 points were crisp.
That's right.
Both teams went out there with a clear goal, and both teams achieved it. Deep shots. Orlovskis to Kublika. Well, sorry, not Orlovskis to Kublika. Orlovskis to Gusars.
Yes.
Kublika was in the vicinity.
Kublika was there for the backup.
And previous to, or before that even, previous to, that fantastic throw from Lindquist, taken down by Hergreen. Scooped up, I suppose, is more accurate. So he went tumbling to the floor, getting low enough to pick it up.
That's right.
So, 11-6. 5 points in the distance.
And
substantial.
Only about 35 minutes of play, so already pretty high scoring, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong with that time.
This is easily the highest scoring game that I've called today. It's 11-6 after 35 minutes. That's remarkable. It's been a very clean game, it must be said. No real calls. Everyone very highly spirited, but still so tight, so hotly contested. Plenty of big grabs. The one very clearly accidental hit on Orlovskis that he walked off, and by which I mean he got a huge pivot. And there's the nice shot from Hergreen, sending it deep. The tip isn't enough, and Havgard is able to collect it.
And a good read from both, and great spirit there to congratulate both her defender there. She put on a hard contest, but just in a better position for the score. And at SE6, I cannot underestimate, or underemphasize, I should say, how much they needed that goal to bring the scores to 11-7 at what was starting to look dangerously like it was just going to be a blowout with only 35 minutes of play.
So they're showing they've still got fight left. But what they haven't shown is an ability to break Salaspils, to get the disc off him and put it in. They've got to start chipping away at this lead. Salaspils haven't built this up. They had a little bit of a run in the middle of the game, but for the most part, they've just been chipping away, adding a break here, adding a break there. And staying consistent on their offense.
Yeah, and just backing themselves with those big throws. Not at all.
Gusars to Orlovsky.
He got
He
tempted.
was thinking about it, and then Gusar's going to throw a hammer back to him.
He'll probably do it now. Looking for...
You can see patrolling the deep Edberg like a shark. Paduma pops it back into Gusars. There's Paduma in front of him again, but instead goes with the scooper to Orlovsky's. They're just showing off at this point.
That's right. They do have a couple of their female players kind of hanging towards the back there.
For shots like that, no, Gusars sends it long, and there's a beautiful leading pass, but it wasn't leading enough.
No, not enough.
We can see what Manovs was going for, but he left it too far out in the way of Hargaby, and he's able to catch up and knock it out. So now a chance for a break. Bring this game a little bit closer. A lot of match left. They have to capitalize now.
That's right. Still plenty of time left, but with their opponents on the score of 11, they really can't afford to it, and it looks like a timeout's been called.
Recognizing how substantial this moment is, wanting to make sure they address it appropriately.
And I think this is their second timeout for SeE6.
So,
but
a serious
so
moment.
First one in each half for SeE6 with their timeouts being called. Reflecting, I think, not necessarily the...
Do you think they're going to try and come out here with a set?
I think so. They've had some good set plays. And it wasn't particularly a long point, I don't think. So I don't think it's to give themselves a chance to recenter and just compose themselves a bit and gather their breath back. So I think they're probably going to set up a play.
That's smart, just to recover your breath. You got the big D. You need to start getting back some of this distance.
The breeze not really going to play a factor in this game. It's going slightly across the field from the bottom of your screen to the top, across the field there. But very gentle today compared to yesterday's conditions. So offense setting up there. An unusual lineup there, not a vertical stack at all, or horizontal really. They might be looking for the partners in their connections.
Lindroth sends it down the line. Collected by Edberg.
Good
Edberg
pressure
popping
there.
in and out. He is under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he might be out, yes.
Oh, and that's a quick turnover.
Oh, no.
And immediately that connection Gusars to Orlovsky. Those two love playing with each other and just throwing ridiculous throws. That one a little bit more vanilla, but still with such panache and style, it made it look spectacular.
That's right. So 12-7 now. The SeE6 timeout did not go according to plan with being able to set up anything or get a point on the board for themselves, and the Latvian side just, as soon as they've got the turn, attempting to get a score, not waiting at all really for anything to be set up, just pick up the disc and off you go.
You got to be that lightning quick. You see that opportunity. The peculiar thing, and maybe I'm going to wind up jinxing them by saying this, but the peculiar thing to me is, where are the miscues? They're a pickup team, kind of. Where are the miscues? They're utilizing a lot of levels of their squad. They're working so hard for each other. These are some talented, talented young players.
Yeah, you can put a team of...
And a huge chuck coming out of the hands of Madison. Trying to get to Lindquist downfield, but so well D'd up by Olga Savaleva.
That's right.
Brilliant defense.
Surprisingly, though, no options on for that first throw. Had to wait. Didn't like it because they just like to pick up that disc and have a shot.
Snottish sends it to the sideline where it is continued to flow down the field. Lovely shot out. It's bounced once. And Apinis couldn't collect it. Kuplika just asking a little bit too much of him.
So yeah, just the ability for them to connect with their teammates in their transitions.
Lauza Kublika,
Super
who I've been
impressive,
incredibly
yeah.
impressed with all game long, is on the Eurostars 2018 tour. One of, if not the most experienced players in Latvian women's ultimate, and she is phenomenal. In the words of Maya Angelou, phenomenal woman. That's her. Maya Angelou says that's me, but I can't really do the whole that thing. Anyway, point remains. Excellent play, but that time throwing it a bit too far. And now SeE6 with a chance to get another point on the board. Get that lead back to 4. Maybe they could manage it. But they need to be consistent now. Anderson flows it back into the middle of the pitch. Hagerby says no to Thorgreen, goes with Madison. Madison bounces back and forth. Eventually relaxes. Puts it into Hagloff. Back to Anderson. Thorgreen. Smoothly into the middle of Havgard. Madison. And we've seen him go for that backhand before, arcing it around. Thorgreen. I'm sorry, my mouth is too dry to keep doing that right now. Madison. Oh, that's a smooth inside flick break to the waiting hands of Lindquist. She wants to pop it. She wants to go, and she gets it in the form of Anderson.
Much needed score there for SeE6. 12-8, 4 points. Still plenty of time left at what has been already a very quick scoring game.
It's been a remarkably quick scoring game, which speaks to the skills of both of these teams and how impressive and how quickly they've gotten through this game so far. Still, we're starting to run out of points. We may have plenty of time. We may be approaching half time, but we are starting to run out of points. And with Salaspils receiving the disc, unless we try to do accurate analysis here, you say what tactics could they change, what could they do this, and to me, from watching this game, it's literally just a matter of balling out. And Salaspils are balling out, and everything's working. And normally when you try to do that, it works for a while, and then it doesn't. And you have to go back to other things. Like we saw SeE6 grind that point out. That's what they needed to do, get a bit of foundation, get a bit of concrete. So maybe things will start going wrong for Salaspils, or maybe they're just playing one of the most concise games they've ever played. As Orlovsky sends that one deep. It's going to need to be read well, which it of course is, because everything's working. Manov's staring into an end zone. Sneak in front of him, bounces back and forth and sets her up. Crisp!
Jeez, he has had some impressive throws. Number 18 there.
Orlovskis, one of the best young players in Europe. Don't tell him I said that. Arvids Janis Orlovskis, I believe.
Just backs himself, and
he completely backs himself. I remember it was at EYUC last year, and I'm friends with Jans Bernans. And just chatting away to him, he's the coach of the Latvian team, and this Orlovskis was the clear head and shoulders, like literally head and shoulders, but also just was leading this team from the front and was getting layout Ds and was going nuts. No, he had help. He had a lot of support. I don't want to act like he was the only good player on the team, but he's certainly a rising star, belonging in that class of the likes of Benjamin Ort or Quentin Roger. These young players who we're going to keep an eye on. So now, SeE6. Anderson.
Oh.
Unfortunate there is there's just a gap in the consciousness. Bernans immediately goes for the shot to the end zone. I believe that's his 3rd hammer score of the game. Am I being shallow? Am I being childish? Is there a more accurate and intellectual way to describe the difference between these teams than Salaspils are balling out? Is there a more scientific term?
Oh,
it escapes me.
Just playing like a whole bunch of millennials down there. Millennials is hard
Millennials?
to say.
Milli Vanillials?
Millennials. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's the difference between a more conservative style of play, the traditional approach, to
shouldn't work that often,
No,
that well.
it shouldn't.
But Yanis Bernans is...
But they've got the skills, but they are just
And they are
backing
paying
themselves.
these bills.
Yeah.
That's it. The confidence. You can feel it emanate from their line. You can
It's
feel it up
almost
here in the
arrogant.
booth.
The
Yes, no,
amount
it's definitely arrogance. And you
of
like...
backing they have, they're just going to be like, well, hammer, here it is.
They're definitely crossing into that line of arrogance. But you know who they'll find waiting for them there? Groot.
Probably.
The best young team, best mixed team in Europe.
Yet to be
And they
officially determined.
definitely have... No, the reigning European champs. And they definitely cross that line into arrogance every now and again. But when it works, maybe I'm just old. No, it's the children who are
The
wrong.
children are getting too young. And there it
And
is.
there it is!
You turned your
What
back
a
for
way to
moment.
win!
How
And you would miss it!
And SeE6
Unbelievable!
is a bit shell-shocked, perhaps,
Maldoris, this isn't going to do
after
anything to affect their ego.
very short
This
game.
is not good.
I mean, I'm happy I can possibly have a shower.
Marvelous play by Maldoris.
Less than 50 minutes that took.
He just sneaks in here. Let's have another look. Deep back corner, perfect pull. Under pressure immediately. Pop it up, and he just steals it away.
Oh, and
He made it look so easy.
Oh,
That's
my goodness.
daylight robbery in the evening sun. What a game. Somebody's got to give them their comeuppance, but I can't imagine who. That is going to be an unmissable final tomorrow. That kind of style and skill and sheer swagger
yeah, it's like
does not come along often. Real recognize real.
It's brazen.
That was
That style of
something else.
play.
That was something else. Brazen. Commiseration to SeE6. They had a fantastic tournament. A lot of great talent on
great
that
run.
team.
Up, and I believe now they'll play for
Third, fourth.
Third,
If you
fourth.
swap over to our Field 6 coverage,
still going. I can't see
it's
the
currently
score.
10-8.
Oh, close
And that
game.
is Rut.
Oh,
That one's awfully close. So, we will close it here and we will just let you swap over. We ourselves
That's right.
got caught up watching it from the wrong scaffolding. It has been a distinct pleasure for you to join us today. I thank you so much for taking the time. My name is Lorcan Murray.
and I'm Elshak.
We'll be back here tomorrow with the finals of the women's open mixed divisions. We have the semi-final of the mixed division happening right now on the other pitch of Windmill Wind-Up 2018. Where else would you want to be on a Sunday?
That's right. Stay cool.
Oh my God, they're spectacular. Oh my God, they're
Alti.tv